This is Millie Says, where discipline becomes identity, softness meets power, and elevation is non negotiable. If you're ready to step into your power with grace, you're in the right place.
Welcome back to another episode of the Discipline and Momentum series. This is Millie Says, and this is episode 7, Why Discipline Triggers Other People. Let me say something that doesn't get talked about enough. The moment you become disciplined, not loud, not preachy, not performative, but stable, people start acting real strange. And you didn't change your personality. You didn't criticize anyone. You didn't even tell them what to do. You just started showing up consistently. You stopped oversharing. You stopped spiraling out loud. You stopped asking for permission. And then all of a sudden, the energy feels off. The jokes change. The support gets quiet. And the room feels colder. If you ever felt that shift, this episode is for you. Because today we are talking about why discipline triggers people, why your stability makes others uncomfortable, and how to stay grounded when attention, energy, and dynamics change. This isn't about ego, it's about self-containment. And if you've been experiencing social friction lately, you're not just imagining it. Here's the truth most people won't say out loud. Your discipline disrupts other people's coping mechanisms. Ooh, we about to start talking now. Because when you were inconsistent, when you were venting, when you were tired but still explaining yourself, you were relatable. You were safe. But when you stabilize, when your mood evens out, when your habits solidify, and when you stop needing constant reassurance, you become a mirror. Not everyone wants to see themselves clearly, okay? Your discipline quietly asks questions like, why haven't I followed through? Why am I still stuck? Why am I avoiding my own life? And instead of answering those questions internally, people project them outward. So the discomfort doesn't sound like, your consistency makes me insecure. It sounds like, girl, you doing too much. You change. You think you better now? Must be nice. And let me be clear. Stability threatens chaos. Consistency threatens excuses, and discipline threatens denial. And you didn't do anything to them. You just stopped leaking energy. Let's talk about the 3 most common reactions people have when you become disciplined. The first one is projection. Projection happens when someone assigns their feelings to your behavior. You start waking up early, they say, you obsessed. You stop drinking, they say you're judging them. You get quiet, they say you're distant. But what they're really saying is, your choices are forcing me to look at mine. Projection is not your responsibility. It's theirs. The second one is competition. This one is deep. Some people don't want to grow with you. They want to grow against you. So suddenly, they copy your routine, they announce their goals louder, they one-up your progress, or they even minimize your wins. Not because they hate you, but because your discipline activated comparison. Here's the key insight though. Healthy people feel inspired. Unhealed people will feel threatened. And that brings us to the third one. Silent resentment. This one is very subtle. They still show up, they still smile, they still say, proud of you, but the warmth is gone. Because your consistency reminds them of promises they made to themselves and broke. And instead of processing that grief internally, they emotionally withdraw. And that's not your fault. That's grief disguised as distance. This is why a lot of people slip when they become disciplined. They feel the tension, and then they try to smooth it over by explaining. They say things like, I'm not trying to be extreme. I just need structure right now. It's not forever. I'm still fun, I promise. Like, you start trying to negotiate that you're not changing. But listen carefully. Explanation is an invitation for negotiation. And your routine is not a group project. When you explain yourself to people who are uncomfortable with your discipline, what you're doing is subconsciously asking for permission to be stable. And you don't need permission. You need self-containment. Self-containment is the ability to hold your decisions without needing validation, without needing applause, or even for somebody to understand you. It sounds like, this is what works for me. I'm good. You don't gotta worry about me. I like my routine. Or you could just be silent. You don't owe people access to your inner architecture. One of the hardest parts of discipline isn't the habits itself. It's the social shift. When fewer people text, conversations feel surface level, you're not the emotionally dumping ground anymore, the spotlight moves. This can feel lonely if you're not prepared. So here's how you stay grounded. You don't chase old dynamics. When people pull back, let them. Do not perform consistency to regain closeness. Don't shrink either just to become digestible to them. And don't abandon structure to feel included. That's regression disguised as loyalty. The next is anchor internally. So your routine must be rooted in identity, not reaction. You're not disciplined to prove something to anybody. You're not disciplined because it creates safety for other people. You're disciplined because it creates safety in your nervous system. That means your mornings are yours. Your energy is protected and your emotions aren't outsourced. Let alignment happen naturally. Yeah, some people are going to fade, but others are going to step forward. And the ones who stay won't require explanation. They'll respect your rhythm. That's how you're going to know it's real. Here's how to reframe what you want to hold. Discipline is loud, but it's not loud leadership. It's quiet regulation. You're not here to convince. You're not here to convert. You're not here to drag people forward. Your job is to be steady. And steadiness changes rooms without announcing itself. Some people will rise. Some will resist. And some will just flat out disappear. All of that is information. It's not failure. If discipline has changed how people relate to you, that doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means you stop making yourself emotionally available for chaos. And not everyone benefits from your stability. Stay with yourself, stay regulated, and stay consistent. The right people will recognize discipline not as a judgment, but as self-respect. You don't need permission to evolve, and you don't need applause to stay committed. And you definitely don't need to explain your standards to anyone. If you're choosing discipline over distraction, drop a crown in the comments, hit the subscribe, and meet me back here for the next level. This is Millie Says.